So no rush, no hurry. When you're ready, we'll start to make our way down toward the mat. And for today's practice, we'll be starting off on the back. So there's no rush or hurry to get there. When you find your way down, see if it feels good to bend and rock. If it feels better to reach, or if it feels better to just rest. Feel free to explore and find what feels comfy. And whether that's a motion or just a shape, when you find that place, start to notice your breath. And what's interesting when you notice your breath is notice if there's any kind of mental narration about your breath. Like you have a little Siskel and Ebert in your head that are saying, oh, now we're breathing in. Yeah, that kind of goes toward my belly, and now we're breathing out. Notice if there's any kind of mental chatter about it, or if you can just notice the breath. And it's okay if the chatter stays and doesn't go away. But just notice if you were trying to hear the sound of your breath. Just notice if that makes any difference. And then whether you're rocking or resting here, you might take a moment to notice what parts of your body are in contact with the mat. And you might notice if it feels like there's a little more on your right side in contact with the mat, or a little more on the left side. And check in with the shoulders, see if they feel even on the mat. The back. Checking in with your hips. And the legs or the feet. Just noticing. And if you find that you want to just stay here and notice, that's perfectly fine. Or today I thought we would start off in a restorative shape. Where we've had such good weather lately, you might have been working out in the garden. If you have a blanket, you might use your blanket, or you can also use a block to lift the hips and rest them on the blanket or the block. And then float the heels up for your legs up the wall, or Viparita Karani. Again, the blanket's a little softer than the block, but it might give you enough of an angle so it feels like the legs can float there. Or if you do have an actual wall handy, please feel free to use a wall too. And take a moment to settle in the shape, maybe giving the ankles a little motion if it feels good to move. That can help boost the lymph drainage from the legs. And Viparita Karani translates to me reverse process. And it's a nice shape if you've been on your feet a lot to help invite things back toward balance. And it helps give the heart a little break here too. And you might notice your breath in this shape. And if it's comfortable, you might reach the arms up over the head, still letting them rest on the mat. As if you were reaching for something back behind the head. And notice what it feels like to breathe here. Now, if anything starts to feel grumpy, it's okay to come down at any point. Otherwise, just taking a few minutes here to settle into the shape. They often recommend this shape if you've been dealing with a lot of tension or stress or anxiety. This is a nice shape to let things recalibrate in. And then when you're ready, no rush or hurry. If you just started to feel good here and you want to stay longer, please do. Or when you're ready, gently bend the knees and float the feet down toward the mat. And you can leave the hips on the blanket or the block for a few breaths here. This is a gentle supported bridge. And just helping the body transition. Also a nice shape if you've been on the road or sitting down for quite a bit. And it's fine to stay here and use it as a restorative shape if you like. Or if it's comfy, we can start to make this active by bringing the heels toward the hips. The feet are hip width apart, so are the knees. The elbows tucked by the ribs. As you inhale, round down through the upper body, really anchoring the elbows toward the mat. Draw the shoulder blades together as you lift the hips toward bridge pose. Salamba Satu Bandhasana. And you can keep the fingertips up if that helps you anchor and push into the arms. Or you might try clasping them behind you. Can you breathe when you're here? And then when you're ready, no rush, no hurry, release the hands, release the hips, maybe sliding that blanket or block out from under this time. And see if it feels good to give the knees a little rock, side to side. You might widen the feet enough so that when you tip the knees, you can tuck the knee just inside the opposite foot. And take a moment here to notice if it feels different when the knees tip to the right compared to when they tip to the left. Does one knee drop down easily and the other feels a little tense? Just notice. And then as we come back up towards center, take the left ankle to the top of the right thigh. Maybe with a gentle rock here. And then we will move toward reclined pigeon if it's comfy. With the exhale, take the knee in toward the ribs, maybe supporting the back of the thigh. Maybe a gentle rock if it's comfy. Maybe pressing the foot up, taking a little flex and point at the ankle. Notice your breath here. Could you imagine that you can breathe in toward the hip? And be kind to the body here. Notice if your thoughts are not kind to yourself. And then when you're ready, no rush or hurry, let's float that right foot back to the mat. And your choice, we're getting ready for another bridge. So we can bring the left foot down to be more stable in our bridge, especially if it's a newer pose for you. Or we can try bringing the right heel in toward the hip, grounding through the elbows, and lifting toward a one-legged bridge. And watch the hips here, especially if you try the one-legged bridge, see if the hips can stay even. We want to try to avoid letting one sag. Can you breathe when you're here? And as you exhale, gently release the hips back to the mat, and you might find one more reclined pigeon. Noticing if it feels any different. And taking a breath, and then we'll give the hips just a little more attention before we switch sides. Take that left leg and slide it across like you're crossing the legs. And then notice if you can draw the feet apart. This is reclined cow facing pose. You might even connect your right hand to your left foot and your left hand to your right foot, which means just reaching a hand toward the foot that's closest. And you might gently rock there. And you can explore bringing the knees in close to the ribs or tipping the knees away. And being kind again to the body. This can feel very tense for many people. So noticing if you can breathe when you're here. And giving yourself permission to let go of the feet or to bring one foot down to the mat if it's not comfy. And then when you're ready, use the exhale to release the foot down. And a big important choice to make before we go to side two. If you want to be gentle, you can uncross the legs and maybe find constructive rest. Or if you'd like a little oomph, a little chance to warm the core, leave that left knee crossed over the right leg. And then we'll stack the arms so that the right elbow is on the bottom, the left elbow on the top. And we can play with reclined eagle to help wake up the core. And as you exhale, curl the head and shoulders up. Take the elbows outside of the left knee. And as you inhale, stretch the arms and legs long, trying to hover them just over the mat. Exhale, elbows outside the knee. Inhale, find length and maybe hover. One more. Exhale, outside the knee. Inhale, find length and maybe hover. And then gently float the foot to the mat. Release the arms. Bringing things back toward constructive rest. You can take a breath here or give the knees a rock or a tuck, whatever feels best. Finding a neutral place before we go to side two. Noticing your breath. And then when you're ready, we'll start to take that right ankle toward the top of the left thigh. Setting up for reclined pigeon on side two. We might take a little rock here. If it's comfy, we might lift the knee, bringing the knee in toward the ribs. And this side could feel really different than side one. Just notice that. Breathing while you're here. Maybe stretching the left leg up. Giving that ankle a little motion. Being kind to your body. So if you're here and you're gritting your teeth and clenching your fists, see if you can back it off an inch or two so that this is a place you can breathe into. When you're ready, no rush, no hurry. We'll float the left foot to the mat. And then your choice, we're moving to bridge. So to be gentle, you'll bring the right foot back down. Or if you'd like to try three or one-legged bridge, we can tuck that left heel toward the hips. Elbows by the ribs. Inhale, press and lift, trying to keep the hips level. Shoulder blades move toward each other. Breathing while you're here. And when you find the exhale, gently float the hips to the mat. Go ahead and tuck the knee back in for one more reclined pigeon if you like. Breathing when you're here. No rush, no hurry. And you can stay with it if that feels great. Or go ahead and try crossing the right leg over the left now. Maybe reaching toward the feet for reclined cow face pose. Now this side can feel really different than side one. Maybe on this side it works. Maybe on this side it feels much more tricky. We don't have to hold the feet. We can just think of drawing the feet apart from each other. If you can hold them, that can help you to move and shift the knees toward the ribs and away from the ribs. Breathing and gently rocking. And then when you're ready, releasing the feet, floating the left foot to the mat, yogi's choice. We can uncross the legs and rest in constructive rest. Or if you'd like a little challenge, keep the cross. Stack the left elbow on bottom, the right elbow on top, and we'll take reclined eagle pose. Exhale, curling the head and shoulders up, take the elbows outside the knee. Inhale, lengthen the legs long, stretch the arms hovering over the mat. Exhale, elbows outside knee. Inhale, lengthen the arms, lengthen the legs. One more. Exhale to crunch. Inhale to reach. And then gently float feet to the mat, uncrossing the legs. The arms can slide right into constructive rest. Pause here, softening down if it feels good. Or if it feels better to rock, go right ahead, finding any place or shape that feels comfortable and neutral. And if you decide you just want to stay in this shape, that's okay. For when you're ready, we'll start to transition our way up towards seated. You might tuck the knees in and roll or rock your way up. Or you might send the knees to the side and then reach through that top arm, top leg to come up towards seated. Now as you find a seat, take a moment to shift a little side to side. And settling into being upright after being down on the mat for a while. And then when you're ready, no rush, no hurry. But also remembering we can tuck a blanket under the hips if that helps us to feel like we sit with a nice tall spine. When you're ready, we'll find a little motion for the back. Starting off today with a gentle seated twist, the spine stays long, lifting up through crown. As you exhale, take a gentle twist toward one side. Inhale back towards center. Exhale, gentle twist. Inhale towards center. Exhale, gentle twist, and this time we might reach that front arm up and back behind the neck if that's comfy. Being mindful to keep the chin parallel to the mat and the head lifted. As you exhale, float the arm down. We'll inhale back to center. Exhale to side two. Gentle twist, and if it's comfortable, maybe lifting that front arm and tucking it behind the head without moving the head to make that happen. Exhale to release the arm. Inhale back towards center. Next exhale takes us to side one. Reaching tall, maybe the front arm reaches behind the neck toward the shoulders. If we need the back hand to keep us up, we'll keep it there, or we might float the back hand up, inviting the fingertips toward each other. Exhale, gently release the back hand down, release the front hand. We'll inhale our way to center, and exhale towards side two. Spine stays long, front arm might lift, reaching the hand behind the head. Bottom arm might lift too, if we don't need it for balance or to keep the back long. Can you breathe here, inviting the fingertips toward each other? They might not touch. As you exhale, release the back arm, release the front. Inhale towards center. And exhale, pause. And just notice how things feel after those shapes. Now as you notice, Be aware if there's any mental commentary of, oh, my shoulders are tight. Of course they're tight. I need to stretch them more. Just notice if there's anything like that. Or if there's a moment of quiet in your mind as you simply notice how things feel. If your legs are crossed, excuse me, your legs are crossed, switch the leg that's in front. As you find center with a nice tall spine, let's let the left fingertips float to the side. We'll find a side bend reaching up and over. Inhale back towards center. We're going to keep going to the left. Exhale, take it up and over. Inhale to center. One more. Exhale, up and over. Then inhale to center. Take a little pause. Just notice the difference between the sides of the body. Then right fingertips support us by the side. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, up and over. Inhale, tall. Exhale, up and over. One more set. Inhale, tall. Exhale, up and over. And then inhale, tall. Float the hand to the mat and take a little pause. Just notice how things feel from one side to the other. And then when you're ready, we'll move toward cat and cow. If you would like to stay off of the arms today, for any reason, you can take them seated, exhaling to round back and inhaling to arch forward. Or we can move toward all fours, using a blanket to tuck in under the knees to give them a little extra support and comfort, if you like, if that's comfy. As you exhale, we round up. Inhale, gentle arch. Exhale to round. Inhale to arch. And taking your time, find your pace with your breath. No rush, no hurry. And then when you're ready, let the hips settle back toward the heels to find child pose. Breathing into the shape as you settle here. Noticing if you can breathe into your back. You can just rest in this shape if it feels good. Or go ahead and walk the hands up and over to the right. And then settle the hips away to the left. Inhale towards center. Exhale, take the hands over to the left. And settle the hips toward the right. Inhale towards center, taking a pause in center, child pose. And then as you inhale, find your way toward all fours. So take a moment here, find a little shift. And then from a nice neutral spine, drawing the belly button in toward the back. We'll see about pressing the right toes back. Reaching the left fingertips forward. Maybe we stay, holding belly button to spine, or maybe we float for sun dog, chakrasana. We might hold or we might send that left hand to the mat. Explore if we could walk the right fingertips out. Maybe we hold or maybe we see if they can float for same side sun dog. Breathing here. When you exhale, send right hand to the mat. Squaring the hips, belly button to spine. Exhale, draw the knee toward the nose, foot between the palms. Inhale your way up to kneeling lunge. Exhale, hands find the heart. Keep this kneeling lunge tall, stacking the hip over the knee. Think of squeezing back knee toward front foot, front knee, or front foot toward back knee. That helps lengthen the psoas muscle here. And then if it's comfortable, inhale it tall. Exhale, find a little gesture of vitality, floating the collarbones up, sinking the elbows down. You can inhale it tall. Exhale, gesture of vitality. One more, inhale up. Exhale down. And then inhale tall. Exhale, hinge from the hips and fold to frame the foot. Taking a pause, maybe letting the hips settle in front of the knee here if that's comfy. A little runner's lunge. And then explore sliding the hips back, peeling the toes up for half of monkey. For more length, you can slide the foot forward. Then as you exhale, bring the foot back down, framing the foot. Your choice, you can slide or step back, high plank or all fours. Taking a breath, belly button to spine. Exhale, shift and lift, downward facing dog. Pedal in, bend the knees, one to the other. Spin the biceps forward. And then yogi's choice. If you'd like to rest, knees to mat, find child pose. If you love down dog, you might stay for a few breaths, for there's time enough for 3 vinyasa floats. And just as a reminder, those are the down dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, mindful of the shoulders. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And exhale, down. So your choice, flow, rest, or hold a pose that feels good. These next couple of minutes are an option to choose what will bring your body back toward balance. And take your time noticing your breath. And just noticing if there's any mental narration for what you're doing. Or sometimes that might be thoughts floating around about other things, like what you have to do after you finish yoga today. And it's okay if those happen. Just notice it, and then see if you can bring your attention back to your breath, back to this practice on the mat. When you've finished your third flow or finished your rest, we'll meet back on all fours, and taking a cat and cow as we arrive. The exhale to round. The inhale to arch. And then finding a nice neutral back, belly button hugs in toward the spine. Now we'll reach back through the left toes and forward through the right fingertips. We might stay put here. This can be a good place to hold. Or we might see if it's possible to float the arm and the leg. We might stay there, or we might sink the right hand down and walk the left fingertips out. Keeping the hips as squared to the mat as we can. And maybe we float that left arm up. Finding our same side sun dog, maybe. But same side sun dog can always have the hand and the toe on the mat too. And then when you're ready, bring both hands to the mat. Exhale the knee toward the nose, foot between the palms. Inhale to lift for kneeling lunge or Anjaneyasana. Hands find the heart. And take a moment to squeeze back knee to front foot to back knee. And that should help you feel a little length in the front of that right hip. You can add to that by really engaging the right glutes. And then if it's comfy, we'll inhale this up. Exhale, lift the collarbone, sink the elbows for gesture of vitality. Inhale, tall, find that length. Exhale, a mini back bend, gesture of vitality. One more, inhale, tall. Exhale, gesture of vitality. Then inhale, tall. Exhale, hinge from the hips, pull to frame the foot. Taking a pause here, you can let the hips sink forward if it feels good, especially with the support of the hands here. And then shift the weight back toward the hips, peel the toes up for half of monkey, lengthening the back of the left leg. Breathing when you're here. Now as you exhale, send the foot to the mat, frame the foot with your hands. Slide or step back, all fours or high plank. And taking a deep breath here. Exhale, shift and lift. Downward facing dog, pedal in. Bend one knee and the other. And yogi's choice. Would it feel best to send knees to the mat and rest? Would it feel good to take 3 vinyasa flows? Or if there's another pose that you're craving, take the time to go for it now. Whether you choose something in motion or something resting, notice your breath. No rush, no hurry with it. Taking your time, and if you notice that your thoughts are noisy today, having a lot of thoughts, or you're having trouble keeping them focused on the practice, give yourself a little compassion for that. That happens, very human. So instead of beating yourself up for those kinds of things, see if you can meet that with compassion. Just like if you were taking a little puppy for a walk and he got distracted and was going all over the place. Think about how you would gently guide him back with a leash. And invite your attention to do the same thing. Just gently guide your attention back. And then no rush, no hurry, finishing your flow, finishing the shape that you're working in, and we'll make our way back to meet this time on all fours. Using an exhale to round for cat. And then inhale to find a gentle arch for cow. And then finding a nice neutral place. Draw the belly button into the spine. We'll reach back through the right foot. Reach forward through the left fingertips. Maybe we take our float in bird dog. And then this time we'll add on by turning the toe out to the side and bringing the leg out to the right while the arm reaches to the left. Inhale, find the length. It's okay to skip it if it doesn't feel good. Exhale, try bringing the leg out to the side. One more, this is called awkward sun dog. And it's always okay to skip if it doesn't feel good. And then bring that left hand to the mat. See if you can tuck that right knee toward your tricep. Inhale, press back through the right foot. Then turn the toes out to the side. Reach the leg out long. And then see if you can pull the knee toward the back of the arm. Nice, press the leg up. Turn the toes out. Send the leg to the side. Bend the knee, draw it toward the tricep. And then this time we're gonna bring it up and outside that right hand. You can help the leg with the hand if you need to. We're setting up for lizard lunge. So lizard lunge might stay just like this for you. Or we might play with floating the back knee up. We might play with sinking the forearms down. This is a spot if you have a block. You might sink your forearms down toward the block. Can you breathe when you're here? If it's comfortable, you might try a little twist, starting to rest. Right hand on the right thigh, opening the torso toward the right. Maybe look up if it's comfy. Maybe the head just stays in line with the spine. And then if you're curious, you can see if floating the back heel is an option. It may not be depending on your kneecap. But if it floats, you might also try reaching back just to see if things could connect. No worries if they don't. As you exhale, release it down. Reframing the foot, bringing the hand down outside the foot, taking a breath here, and then shifting the hips back to peel the toes up for half a monkey. And then an option here, you can just stay in half monkey if it feels good, or you might start to sink back toward runner's lunge and slide toward half monkey. Maybe sliding the heel forward a little to find runner's lunge and a half of monkey. Maybe sliding the heel forward. So that half monkey is maybe 3/4 of monkey. And monkey is a split. So if you're able to go into a split, you're welcome to. If you have a block, you might tuck that under the hip to take a rest there. Breathing, and then, when you find the shape, maybe taking a breath, finding the place that feels like you could stay there. If we were going to stay for 5 minutes, we won't be here that long. And then when you're ready, draw the hips back. Find that half the monkey. One more time. Send the right foot to the mat. Frame it with the palms. You choose. We can slide to all fours or float the back knee and step back for high plank. One breath here. Exhale, shift and lift. Downward facing dog. Pedal in, bend the knee. Yogi's choice. Stay here. Sink it down to rest. Or if you can tell there's a pose you're craving now, take the time to practice that shape. Time enough for 3 vinyasa flows if you'd like. Or you can always, if you find yourself thinking, I wish we were doing more cobra today, Yogi's choice is the time for you to do that. Noticing your breath. Noticing if you're being kind to your body. And also just kind to yourself and your thoughts. No rushing, no hurrying. Take your time. And when you're ready, we'll be back on all fours. Let's take one cat and cow. And exhale to round. And inhale to arch. Then find a long spine with the belly button drawing in. Send the left toes to the back of the mat and the right fingertips forward. If it's comfy, we'll find our float for sun dog. And then turn the toes out to the side with awkward sun dog. Use an inhale to reach and find length. And exhale to play with that awkward sun dog, opening to the side. One more like this. Inhale, find the length. Exhale, see about opening arm and leg to the side. And then float the arm down, send the toes back. Take the leg out to the side and then bend the knee. Try to hug it toward the back of the arm. Inhale, press the heel back. Exhale, draw the knee toward the back of the arm. Inhale, press the heel back. One last time, we draw that knee up. And then we bring the foot upside the left palm. Setting up for lizard, side two. Your lizard might stay right here. We can float the back knee if that feels good. We can leave it down. We can settle toward the forearms. And again, a spot you might use a block to help settle while keeping length in the spine. And we can stay put here and just breathe into the shape. Or we can anchor through the right elbow. Maybe opening the torso toward the left. Can you breathe when you're here? And again, you might just be looking toward the side wall. If it's comfortable, you can look up a little. Just being sure to keep your neck in line with the spine and your head in line with the spine. You might play with floating the back foot. And if you do, you might play with reaching to see if you can connect. Can you breathe when you're here? As you exhale, release the foot if you were touching it. Bring the left hand outside the foot, framing, and then sliding the hips back for half a monkey. At your choice, you might stay here and just hold half a monkey. Or you might find a little flow between kneeling lunge and half a monkey. And if it's comfortable, we might slide that left heel forward a bit. Just exploring our range. Inviting things toward monkey pose, Hanumanasana. You don't have to go all the way into the shape. It's not in my range of motion yet to go all the way there. Can you breathe wherever you are in it, though? That part is key. And when you find a place that you can hold, that you can stay for a bit, but it feels like it might be near your edge, that's a good spot to stay and breathe and hold. And taking your time. And then when you're ready, maybe bringing the hips back, maybe bringing the heel back toward that half a monkey. Ground down through the foot, framing it with the palms. Slide or step back to all fours or high plank. One breath here. Exhale, shift and lift hips. Downward facing dog. And then when you're ready, it's our final yogi's choice. So there's time to flow and to bring it down and rest. Or time to choose a pose that you were hoping might be in class today. And that feels like it might help bring things back to balance for you. Breath stays deep and in motion. No rush, no hurry. Taking your time. And then when you're ready, when you've wrapped up that last flow or are ready to shift out of the rest, take a moment to press things up towards seated. And as we get ready to move toward restorative, I'm going to offer you another funny thing to do, but it's really helpful. This is a way to release some of the muscles around the eyebrows and forehead. And in Chinese medicine, these places are associated with the liver meridian, and they're often called hanger lines, or you might have heard them called the 11s. They're those little vertical wrinkles that you get on the inner edge of the eyebrows. And there's a way to release those muscles. What you'll do is take and thumb and first finger to the inner edge of the eye orbit and use your fingers to give a little pinch or a little squeeze, like you're pressing your eyebrow down. And take a little breath here. And then slide the fingers over toward the outer edge of the eye and give a little pinch here. And we'll slide them over a little further. And take a little squeeze. And over a little further. And just being gentle with the squeeze. And then we'll do that again 2 more times. Coming back to the inner edge and giving a little squeeze. And then using that little squeeze, almost like we were working toothpaste up from an almost empty tube. 1 more, coming back toward the center. And then working with those little squeezes toward the outer edge of the eye. And there are some interesting studies that correlate those muscles being more active with us feeling more anger and aggression and frustration. So hopefully that helps release some of that for you. And then we're getting ready to move toward restorative. As we do, you might take a moment just to send the legs long, finding Dandasana or staff pose, lengthening up through the crown of the head. Inhaling the fingertips tall. And exhale, hinge from the hips, finding a seated forward bend. And just breathing into the shape. Now this is a shape we use in yin yoga, where you can simply soften down if it feels comfortable. That's an option, just to stay here and rest if it feels good. In yin, we would hold that shape for 3 to 5 minutes. So if it feels really helpful today, it can help relieve congestion in the lower back. That's an option. Or if and when you're ready to make your way down toward the mat, you might use your blanket in one long line, resting it at the base of the spine, so your hips are on the mat. And then as we make our way down, to do it gently, we might use one leg as a counterweight. Resting the spine on that long blanket. And you can explore if it feels more comfy to be on the back with your legs straight or with the knees bent. Both are okay. And then if your blanket's long enough, you can fold a little bit in under the neck to make a neck roll. And if it feels good, you can even tuck some in to make a pillow too, if you like. If the arms are comfy, reaching out to the side, maybe with a field goal shape. That can be a nice way to gently open the collarbones, in front of the shoulders. And take your time in the shape and see if it feels comfy and supported. And the blanket under the back can just give the nervous system a little more support, helping us shift into that parasympathetic rest and digest state. You might start to use your exhales to help you soften down into the shape. And if you find you're here but you need movement first, you need a little wiggle, a stretch, or press, go right ahead and take it. And then with the next exhale, see about softening down. And if the shape feels like heaven, you can stay put here for Shavasana or final relaxation. Or if you'd rather find a different shape or a classic Shavasana, you can just gently rock to the side to slide the blanket out. And then return for what shape feels the most comfortable for your final relaxation. And these last few minutes of practice are a chance to let your body and mind and spirit soak in all the benefits of the practice. You don't have to do anything. You can just allow yourself to be and soaking in those benefits. And if you're able to take a longer Shavasana today, please feel free to stay put and do so. Or you might start to stretch out through the hands. Give the wrists a circle. You might flex and bend the feet. You might stretch and reach, or bend and draw in close, finding whatever feels natural and like a gentle way to bring yourself back around. And eventually coming to rest on one side or the other. And when you feel ready, gently making your way back up toward a comfy seated place. No rush or hurry to get there. When you find seated, see if the spine needs a little shift side to side. If the shoulders might need a shrug or a roll. Or if the neck needs a little lean. And then as you find an inhale, draw the spine tall, reach the fingertips up. Exhale, hands toward the heart. Thank you for taking the time to practice today. And namaste.